Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Adam Hanna Music Theory YouTube experience. Make sure to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button for more quality music theory content. All right, let's get right into the video. Today we are analyzing the Mozart Sonata K.570, and I have this wonderful, beautiful YouTube video here where someone is playing it for me because I am not able to play it myself. Okay, and so we'll get right into it with the exposition in B flat major, the tonic. This is the A theme, or the A theme group, part one. As you'll see, we have a lot of content here. And then the melodic content sort of shifts a little bit with the theme group part two. Okay, and we'll stop here because here we go into the transition. We had that cadence on B flat major, the tonic, and now we are going into the transition with a little like shout on the minor six chord, the 5 of 6. Here, the 5 of 6, and then the E flat major chord, the 4, the major 4. It's worth noting while we're stopped here that the golden section, if the exposition is repeated twice, would actually be right here at the beginning of the transition. We had that C7 to F7. And then as we get into this 16th note run pattern, we're focused on C major. And then we got that really satisfying C to F, the 5 of 5 going to the dominant 5, F major, which is what our B theme is centered on. We are now in the dominant key of F major. Okay. While I have it stopped here, I know we're only a little bit into the second section, but it's worth noting that if the exposition is not repeated, the golden section would actually be right here in measure 44 with the introduction of the high 8th note pattern in the left hand. Or the right hand, rather. Okay, and so we get into our theme group part one. And now we get into the part two of this theme group with all the 16th note moving patterns. Okay, and now we enter the codetta, which really solidifies our dominant F. F. Yep. We get really satisfying lead-ins into F, and then it speeds up, all confirming F with a final cadence in F. And then it repeats again. We won't go through the repeat, so I'm going to skip ahead to 3 minutes and 36 seconds. Here we go. So right there, actually, I'll go back just a little bit more. Okay, going into it. All right there we had a 5 of 5 to 5, 4, 3 to 1 in D flat major. So already things are getting shifted here in the development. We have a 5, 6, 5 to 1 in D flat major still. I'll pause it just for a second because it's worth noting that here the development section is actually developing not on an A theme or a B theme, but rather on the transitional theme between the A theme and the B theme in the exposition, which I think is really interesting. So we'll continue. F to G major. A flat major to D7, G minor to a French augmented 6, and then to D major with all these 16th moving patterns, still building on the transitional theme. And then we get that cool cadence on D. Now, where is it going to go? If we have a cadence on D major and it's functioning as a 5, well, it's going to G major, and that's exactly what happens. We start to build here on the B theme group part 1 with that descending 4th, descending 3rd in the left hand, but now we're in G major. And now we transition to C minor. And then you'll notice that the 8th notes are now inverted, where they were in the right hand, now they're in the left hand. And also, it's worth pointing out that right here where I'm circling and where I just paused it is the golden section of the development, when we transition from C minor to C dominant 7, which is leading to F minor. We also lose that arpeggiated figure in the left hand. Okay, and we shifted from F major. I'll actually go back just for a second. Okay, now we're in E flat major. F major to G major. F to G flat major to F major to G flat major to F major. And then we turn that F into an F7 with the introduction of the E flats. He throws in the E flats here in the scalar moving patterns, kind of saying, hey, here's the 7th, and that makes this an F7, really moving back into the recap, solidifying the tonic of B flat major, which we get to right here in the recapitulation. A theme group part 1. Then we get into the theme group part 2. Then we get into the transition. And you'll notice that all of this is the same up until here. Right here, you'll notice this is measure 159 to 160. To measure 160, we have this right here, or rather right here, a C7 chord, which is the same as the first transition, except instead of going to the F7, which I talked about earlier, it's going to an F major chord, thus solidifying F major as the dominant of B flat major, which comes back right there in the B theme, which we're now in the B theme, in the tonic now instead of the dominant. This is the part 1 of that theme group, and now we get into part 2 of that theme group right now. Now we are in the codetta, which, similar to how the first codetta solidified the dominant as our new key, this one is solidifying the tonic B flat major, in case the audience wasn't aware from all of the previous content that we're now ending this piece in B flat major There's no possible way to miss it. It is right there in your face, B flat major. Flat major, ending with a big cadence in B flat major. And you'll notice that this person decided to repeat the exposition twice, to reprise on the exposition, but not the development and the recapitulation section, which, according to what I calculated, puts the with exposition repeated and not the other sections, we get the golden section at around measure 98-99, about measure 98-99, which would put the golden section at, let's go and find it, shall we? That would be in the development. In the development. Okay, we'll listen here. It's coming up with these 16th note patterns. Here we go. And the golden section is right around here with that big cadence on D, the dominant before it goes to G major. And that's basically what this person is saying is, you know, we're gonna repeat the exposition twice, leave the rest the same, thus putting the golden section at that cadence. And I would politely like to disagree with the way that this person played it, not to say that that isn't a glorious moment as part of the development, where we switch from that developing transitional theme to the developing B section theme. But I think that there's a better way to go about it. And feel free to disagree with me. However, I think that at the very end, that big cadence on B flat, I don't know. I kind of think that that would make a really cool kind of golden section. I don't know. I feel like that really like magnificent, it's home, and then it repeats back to development, and you're like, wait a minute, no, we aren't. That kind of like juxtaposition, that contrast, that immediate contrast, bum, bum, and then back into D flat major with the development, I think would make kind of a more interesting and grandiose golden section, in my opinion. And so to do that, for the golden section to be at measure 208, well, you would play the exposition once, but play the development in the recapitulation twice. And that would put the golden section at measure 208, which is that final cadence in B flat before it goes back to the development for the second time. And in my opinion, to politely disagree with the way that this person played it, I think that would be kind of a much, I don't know, nicer approach, in my opinion, to put the golden section there instead of in the middle of the development on a cadence on D before it transitions. I don't know, that it didn't feel right to me. So I would have to say that as my own little gesture of intrigue. I also hope that you appreciated the identification of the French augmented sixth chord in the development. If we go back to the development, that's 336. Yes, right here. I thought that was a pretty cool find as well. all this modulation from the D flat major to the E diminished chord to the F minor to the G major chord to the A flat major chord to the D7, the G minor, and then to the French augmented 6. So like just a cool, unique way, instead of doing a diminished chord, to add even extra tension into this developmental section, going to the D major chord, getting ready to move and shift to G major. And I think that's just a really genius way to just continue to build this tension, whilst also kind of shifting your expectation to something that you get and you're satisfied for just a moment before things get weird again. And that's kind of the beauty of the way that Mozart formulates his development sections. And I think that's pretty cool. And so that is all that we have today. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Adam Hannon's Music Theory videos. If you haven't yet, make sure to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and follow for more music theory content. Thank you.